Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with Zook Stitch, and today is Saturday, June 27th, 2020. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm really glad that you're here. Thanks for spending part of your weekend or week whenever you're watching this with me. First up, I'm in a room that's mostly empty now. This is my craft room. It's the same room I've been filming in, but a little bit of a life update. I am going to be putting my house on the market and moving. I don't know where I'm moving to yet. I'm going to be staying in the Portland area. I think my plan is I'm going to actually rent for a while to try to just kind of try out some different neighborhoods and whatnot while I'm continuing to house hunt. I have been house hunting for about 5 or 6 months. Simon has helped me house hunt too, as you can hear. And I just haven't really found anything yet. So I really want to sell and kind of rent for a little bit. So that's my plan. So it has been a very, very busy week between work and life stuff and getting the house ready to go on the market. So the movers were here yesterday. They cleared everything out and I rented a storage unit. Well, we couldn't get these, so these are the 4x4 calyx cubes from IKEA. They wouldn't fit down the stairs, so I did build them up here in this room, and they couldn't get them down the stairs, so I have to dismantle them and take them over to the storage unit. But they are all cleared out. A lot of boxes went out, and this coming week I'll be working on deep cleaning the house, staging it for showing. So the photographer will be here on July 5th. That's Sunday morning. So it's going to be another busy week, but I do feel like kind of a big chunk of it is done. So fingers crossed for a quick and easy getting into contract, quick sale. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this next chapter, and I'm excited about exploring another area. I've been in this home for about 6 years, and I'm kind of itching for a big change. So that's what's happening right now. I'm really excited. It's all good things. So very excited. So I just wanted to address that first. I have not had a chance to even look at the comments from the last video, so I apologize. I will be working on that this week in between scrubbing floors and cleaning and finding the things I forgot to take to the storage unit. I will be replying to last week's comments, but I just want to let you know I do appreciate you taking the time to comment. I'm looking forward to, because I talked about how I'm struggling with farewell to anger, so I'm looking forward to reading some suggestions or insights on that, and I just haven't had the opportunity to yet, but hopefully moving forward we'll be able to do that. So this video today is going to be a little bit different, probably a little bit longer. I'm going to do my mid-year WIP Parade. But first, before we jump into that, I'm going to do haul first, which will take 2 seconds. Then we'll do giveaways, and then I'll kind of explain what I'm doing for the second half of the year. So, and then we'll do the WIP Parade. So first up, haul. I have one piece of haul. I have the Just Cross Stitch. This is from September 2011. This is the September 2011 issue. I bought it on eBay. I got it because of EJ from Sunshine Stitchers. She is starting, and I'll show you the pattern I bought it for. Elegant pumpkins. Look at those pumpkins. I love it so much. I saw her show this a few weeks ago on Sunshine Stitchers. I ran to eBay. I got in a sort of a bidding war with somebody, so hopefully it was none of you. And I ended up winning. I haven't even looked through the entire magazine yet because it came right in the midst of when I was I basically, because I was teaching a class in addition to working full time. That class ended, I think final grades were due on a Tuesday or something, and then I had to immediately start packing because the movers were coming on Friday. So it was a very mad rush. So I haven't had a chance to look through the rest of the magazine, but I did want to show this. You can look on eBay. Again, it's September 2011 issue. I love this so much. I love the colors. I don't even know if it calls for sparkle, but part of me wants to do it all in sparkles, especially that gold pumpkin. It's DMC. There is some water lilies. There is some kryneck, silver. It's just a splash of color. But I don't know. I'm tempted to do that gold pumpkin all in kryneck. So that's my haul for this week. That's all that's come in. So everything else is packed away. So there you go. So giveaways. I have not had a chance to mail anything out. So if you want a giveaway from last week, I still have it. I put it in a box that stayed here in the house. So I know right where it is, and I will try to get them sent out this week. The winner, so last week, so my friend Dawn sent me 2 charts to give away on this channel, which is very kind of her. So first up, we were giving away the Bluebird. This is Birds of the Month by Stony Creek Collection. And the winner of this is Alligator Stitcher. So Debbie, I have your address because you've won before, so I will get this sent out hopefully this week to you for the Bluebird. And then we were giving away the Cardinal as well from the same series. And Mandy Parker, you won this. So Mandy, I do need your address. I don't think I have it. And I will get this sent out to you. And just because everything's a bit crazy, I'm not going to do any giveaways today. So I apologize about that, but there's going to be a little bit of a delay in the giveaways for a few weeks, I think. We are getting close to 2,000 subscribers, though, so I think we're about 120 away. So when that happens, we will be doing definitely some fun giveaways for that. So that's the giveaways. I'm telling you, we're cruising through this because we are getting into the actual stitching WIP Parade part. I just bumped you. I'm so sorry about that. So what I'm going to be doing from July to December, if you remember, if you've been with me for a while, so I'm doing Year of WIPs, which isn't going great, which is Melanie's brainchild of Soulful Stitching. So check her out on Facebook. I will link it below. But part of that is Stitch from Stash, which is Ms. Oso Crafty's brainchild. So they kind of combine. So part of Year of WIPs is to do Stitch from Stash, where you set your own monthly budget, anywhere from $0 up to $25. And that's your stitching budget for the month. You can earn additional money by making finishes, and they have a grid that, if the piece is 100 by 100, you get X amount. There's a grid. So you can check that out as well. Another Facebook group, Stitch from Stash. I will link it below as well. So I never intended to do Stitch from Stash this year just because I don't have a lot of stash, as many of you know. Over the past 6 months, though, I've started a lot of things, a lot of really big projects. So I feel like I should probably participate in Stitch from Stash for the second half of the year. So I'm going to be doing that. I won't lie, I am doing some final purchasing here at the end of June, which might be cheating a little bit, but I just want to get some things in before that really happens, just in case I get itching to start a new project. So the Stitch from Stash, I'm going to do a budget of $15 a month, and then if I have any finishes, I'll take credit for those finishes so I can potentially earn more. I am on a piece like Harbor Haven or any of the Hawk Run Hollows. I am considering finishing a block or a scene as a finish. It's a smaller finish, so it won't be worth as much as finishing the whole piece. But because that's how I think of it in my mind, that's how I have it broken up to work on, is, my goal is one scene, one block a month. So I am going to count those as mini finishes as I go along. And then when I finish the last one, that's it. I'm not going to then try to claim for the whole piece overall as well. So that's what I'm planning to do from July through December. So each month I get $15 to spend. Does not include gift cards or anything. So I do have, my birthday was in March, and I got some stitching money from my folks to spend at StitchCon. And of course, at that time, we weren't sure if Stitch on Con was going to happen. So they said, if Stitched Con doesn't happen, then take this money and spend it at Acorns and Threads, which is my local needlework shop. So I still have that money to spend, and that's a gift, so that doesn't count against my budget. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm excited, and I feel confident that I should be able to do it. I really have no excuse. So designers, stop coming out with beautiful projects, please. So Stitch from Stash, $15 a month plus credit for finishes. I am also participating in Christmas in July or Jolly July, whatever you want to call it. My original plan was to do 24 ornaments. And then I thought that's overwhelming and ridiculous because in July we have a 24 hours of cross stitch event, which is Jen Lee on Facebook, 24 hours of cross stitch. She is the brainchild behind that. They do it 4 times a year, which is wonderful. And so I am going to participate in that. And I thought, wouldn't it be neat to work on one ornament an hour for 24 hours and then you get your 24 starts? Well, that became very overwhelming to me. And I don't really need 24 ornaments. So I cut it in half and I said, okay, I'm going to do 12 ornaments. And then my friend Andrea, who is really she does not have a Flosstube. We're trying to convince her to get on Flosstube. She said, hey, let's start Kringles in July for Christmas in July, which I thought was a great idea because I do have Kringles. Let me show you Kringles here. This was a market release this year. It is Little House Needleworks Kringles. So it's like a department store. I have it all kitted up and ready to go. I just had no real plans to start it. I bumped you again, I'm so sorry, but I will be stitching it on Belfast Pearl Gray linen in 32 count. So it's that light gray. It's a little bit darker than it's showing, but it's very pretty. And I got the thread pack from my local needlework shop as well. So this is ready to go. So when we decided to start this is obviously not really ornament size. I did drop the number of ornaments, actual ornaments. I'm going to start down to 11. So I will be doing 11 ornaments, which is an odd number, figuratively and literally. But that's okay. I'm trying to be okay with that. I really like even numbers. So we will be starting Kringles. I'm going to start Kringles and do a 4-hour rotation for the 24 hours of cross stitch sanctioned event, which is at the end of the month. So that will be started as well. And I'm not going to show you each individual ornaments because that would be a lot. What I'm going to do is at the end of this video, I'm going to use the Tiny Decisions app, which will tell me which 3 I'm going to work on. Once July 1st hits, I'll do 3 a week till I hit 11. So 1 week we'll only have 2. That will take us up to the 24 hours of cross stitch, and then I'll start Kringles. So what I'll do each week is I'll spin the wheel. And then I will pause the video, pull out the ornaments so you can see them then instead of doing it all at once. So I will do that at the end of this video so we can see which ornaments I'll be working on since July 1 is, when is that, Wednesday, I think? So we are coming up. June has flown by. So I will do that at the end of this video. And also inspired by Andrea, inspired and abled, sorry about the noise, is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. So we are going to start this on July 15th. This is just a new start. I mean, it fits in with Christmas in July, certainly. I love, 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 love this piece. I have the floss. I'm waiting for my fabric to come in from Bestitch Me. It is I'm doing Vanilla Latte 32 count, which is what I'm doing for all the Hawk Run Hollows. It is kind of a made-to-order fabric, so it does take a little bit of time to come in, but it should be here in plenty of time. Yeah, so I'm very excited to start that. Add another one to my Hawk Run series. So that's Christmas in July, and also some of my July plans, but I'll be also talking about July plans a little bit more at the end of the video. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to be participating in from July to December is WIP Go. So this is Jessie Marie does stuff. This is her brainchild. So it's like a bingo card, only it's a WIP Go card. So I will show you. This is my monthly planner. I think I showed it when I first got it, and then I haven't shown it again. I love this planner. It's, here, I'll show you a blank. So it's just a very simple planner with big monthly boxes and lots of notes sections, and then in between each is a notes section, and this is a 2-year planner. So this is perfect to keep track of my stitchy time. I'll show you an example of a month. So here's June, for example. So my monthly goals are over here. I highlight in different colors. I mark when I started a piece, when I finished a piece, and I track my number of minutes stitched. So that's kind of what it looks like, and it's really fun to go from blank to watch it fill up over the course of the month. But what I did in here is I taped in, so this is the pages right between June and July. I taped in my WIP board. So WIP, you have this, she has this free printout on her site that she generously offered. And you can join it anytime. You just print this out, or you can use it on your computer, whatever works for you. I like it printed out because I like the physical copy. The boxes that have blue, so what you do is you fill in your project into each 25 squares. You can use 13, can be a free space if you want. I want, because I really want to make progress on these, so I didn't use that as a free space. The idea is that you try to get bingo, essentially. The boxes that you set your own goal for each of those projects. So whatever your goal is, this is for you. And so a lot of people might say, hey, I'm going to finish this piece, or I'm going to, finish this section. For me, or you could do number of stitches, I'm going to do time. So every piece you see on this board, my goal is to do 10 hours on. Now it's up to you if you want to do it, say, in the month that the numbers are called, or if you are just saying, I just have to get it done by the end of the year. For me, I want to try to get 10 hours per month when they're called. So each month, Jessie Marie will draw 2 numbers, and that's the projects that you work on either that month, or that's the numbers called, and it frees up that project to be worked on. So hopefully that makes sense. The squares that you see that are outlined in blue with the yellow X through it are numbers that have already been called earlier this year when I was not participating. Okay, so those are already the numbers called. I'm not going to put anything in there because I don't want to catch up. I'm just going to jump in at July. Okay, so the numbers, she did call numbers yesterday. And so I'm going to be, for July, I'm going to be doing 10 hours on Royal Holiday, which I'll be showing you during the WIP Parade, and 10 hours on Death by Cross Stitch. So those were the 2 numbers that were called. I'm very excited to work on both of those. Both of them are relatively recent starts. And you can see on here, too, the Hawk Run Hollow Autumn and Halloween are on here twice, just to get some extra work. Everything is on here twice, actually. All of them are on here twice. Sorry, I was thinking about my plans for next year. But all of them are on here twice, except for Royal Holiday, because I only had 13 spots to fill. So all of them will be drawn twice between July and December. So I'll be getting 20 hours on each of these projects by the end of the year. And yes, it does mean that, it's possible that it'd be the same project that was drawn in the month. So it'd be 20 hours all in that one project in the month. But I love this idea because I think it's a great way to get some extra stitchy time. Now, it will be a challenge somewhat because I'm still focusing on finishing Harbor Haven and the spring at Hawk Run Hollow. So that's why you don't see those on here. You don't see the projects on here that I already plan to work on in addition to. This is extra. Okay. And if for some reason I don't get all 10 hours on each project in a month, I know that I can carry over into the next month. Hopefully that made sense. Jessie Marie does a much better job of explaining it than I did. But I wanted to point that out to you because as I go through my WIPs, I will be mentioning this is on my WIP Go board so that we can get an idea of what we'll be seeing again coming out later this year. Okay, that's all the intro. So I'm going to start with the WIP Parade. I'm going to start with what I worked on this week because that makes sense, and then it's just going to be random. I have, because I'm putting my house on the market, I did save all my WIPs. I have them in 3 boxes here. I can kind of show you maybe. They're really cute boxes from IKEA. They have lids, but I put the lids, I just set them aside for the video. So I have 3 of these boxes full of WIPs. They aren't very big boxes. So what I'll do is I'll start with what I worked on this week, and then we'll go through each box. It's going to be somewhat random. And Jack says hello as well. They are very confused, those poor babies. I've had a lot of workers in the house, doing little repairs and whatnot. It's been a bit stressful. I have ordered the pheromones plug-in stuff you can get on Amazon for them to help them kind of hopefully feel a little more at ease. But it is stressful for them. So, okay, let's look at our WIPs. So first up, and these are almost all of them are going to be in Garen bags. First up, I'm going to keep them in the bags because to keep everything organized and clean. So this is my new start. We started last Saturday, Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. Isn't that pretty? So I got a good start on this. I'm trying to find the fabric. It's called for fabric, and my notes are going to be a little bit scattered. 28 count casual linen by Picture This Plus in truffle. And this is the one I had a really hard time getting it accurate. It's looking more gray. It's a very beautiful pink. But this is how far I got. I just worked on it one evening. And I really, really love it. Those birds are so cute. They're missing their little eyes, but it's so cute. And this is using Valdani threads. And I've talked about these before, so let me show you the Valdani threads. I won't show you all the floss for each of these, but these are just so gorgeous. So that's my little start on Spring Quaker. Now, this one will be on my WIP Go board. I'm planning to do WIP Go for next year already. So this will be on my WIP Go board for next year. It'll come out. Okay, I'm going to put that up there. Next up, Garen bag. This is my temperature tree by Stitching Mommy. It'll look like this. This is each branch represents a month, and each leaf represents a day of that month, and I'm stitching the high temperature for that day. Okay. And as promised, I took it off the Q snaps so that we could see the whole thing here. So this is a 32 count light blue Lugana. So this is what it's looking like when you see the whole thing. I still do have some more to finish up down here for the trunk of the base of the tree. I'm not quite done with that yet, but you can see we're starting to kind of go over that halfway mark. So this is what it's looking like. I really like it. I can show you a close-up as well. It's really fun because you can see those bottom branches, which are like January, February, March. You can see there's not much variegation. And then you get up into April and you're starting to get a little bit warmer, a little bit warmer. It's really, really neat to see. So I am enjoying this piece. It's really quick once you get the branches done. So at the beginning of the month, I spend a little more time to get the branch done. And then after you get that branch done, it's literally like I do it every Sunday, and it's about half an hour is all it takes to get those leaves in. So this has been a really fun piece, and it's really fun to watch it grow over the year, especially now that we're at the halfway point. Okay, the next piece I worked on this week, this is really heavy. I wish you could feel how heavy this is. My other Garen bag. This is Spring at Acorns and Thread. This is my Love You More Studio Co. sleeve where I keep my flosses in. I talked about that last time. Let me pull up what it's going to look like. So Spring at Acorns and Thread. This was a mania start for me. And my goal is to get 1 block done a month. Okay. Oh, I didn't take this off the Q-snap for you. I'm sorry. Well, I'll do it another time. You've seen it fairly recently with the bird's nest up here. So this is how far I've gotten. Not very far. Well, there's a lot of stitching in this. So I was so happy when I got this border done. This is like the brick of a window. And then there's like 4 or 5 more little mini borders that are just 1 stitch wide that goes all the way around. And, I can stitch maybe an hour or 2 each evening. So we're working on this one. And it takes me probably about an hour and a half to go all the way around. This is 92 by 92 block. So it doesn't look like much, but man, it's a lot of stitching. So I don't know. And there were 2 or 3 evenings this week where my body was throbbing because I was packing for minimum. I was taking time off work so I could pack. 3 to 6 hours a day, I was packing everything up. And so by the time at the end of the day and I was showered and whatnot, and I just sat down in bed, my body was throbbing and I couldn't even, if I had picked up a needle and thread, I would be frogging it. I already had to frog this entire bottom border because I had messed up way back here. I forgot to put that light green 2 stitches in, so it got all the way down to here, realized it didn't match up, so I had to retake all that out and restitch it. And that set me back about 2 or 3 evenings as well. So this might not get done, but, kind of once the work of the house is done, I'm going to have some time. When the house goes on the market, which will be in a couple weeks, the kitties and I are going to a hotel and we're going to have a staycation. This will be my vacation for the year so that I don't have to keep taking the kitties or worry about them being in the house and leaving the house and whatnot. So that first weekend when we have the open house and all that, I am going to go on a staycation for a few evenings in a hotel downtown where there will be no packing and no cleaning. There will be just stitching. So I'm very much looking forward, and naps, let's be honest. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's my progress on that. Not as much progress as I had hoped, but with this week, what can you do? Okay, now, so that's my new starts. And now I'm just going to jump in and pull randomly from the box that's nearest me. Then I will probably pause the video, pull up the next box, and do the same thing. And we have 3 boxes. And I don't know all the fabrics for these. So if you really want to know, because I don't bring that booklet in here, and I'm really bad with knowing things off the top of my head. If you really want to know what a fabric is, maybe jot down a note and ask me in the comments, and I can look it up for you and let you know if you really want to. Most everything I do is on 28 or 32 count. Okay. So first up is, you haven't seen this in a while. This is Santa's Village by Little House Needleworks. I have the first one done. So I'm going to do it on this big piece, all in one piece. I have the first seam done here. This was on my scroll frames, which I did pack away. I did pack and put in storage some of my cross-stitch stuff, like my stash. Yes, I know. But for the most part, I found even with my stash, I still have to buy most of the colors anyway, and I should be stitching from stash. I am going to keep things in storage, I think, for about till I find a house to buy and then pull them out of storage. So it might be 6 months or so, but I think that's okay. I think it'll be okay. But I won't have my scroll rods, my scroll frames. So I might switch to a Q-snap for this. But so I have the first one is done. I did originally have the snowflake buttons in here. I took those out. Just so, because when I scroll it, they're going to get in the way. Or if I use Q-snaps, they might get in the way. Now you'll see that there's that tree button, so I don't know if I'll have to take that off or not. And I did start on the second one. I didn't get very far This was from January. I didn't get very far in the second one, but you can see kind of got the first line of snow in there and the candy cane border. So I do like this piece. This piece will probably come out in November. So hopefully I'm on target to finish Harbor Haven in October. So October would be scene 12. So that would leave kind of some space opening for me to work on Santa's house. And I'll be in the mood for Christmas stitching definitely by November, if not by August. So I might pull this back out. It will have to go on the Q snaps at that point just because, I'm going to put it over here, just because my squirrel rods are in storage for a while. So that's Santa's Village. I don't think there's anything in that one. Okay. So this one is Royal Holiday. So this you will be seeing quite soon. Well, you saw it recently. We just started it. Royal Holiday Mirabilia. You will be seeing this in July because I will be doing 10 hours in July on the stitch. How I'm going to fit all the stitching in, I have no idea. I try not to think about that part and just do our best. This is a Fabrics by Stephanie fabric. I do know that. I have to find which way is up. I actually marked it because I wasn't sure. Did I mark it? I thought I marked it. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, this is what it looks like. That's my little tiny start that I have on it. I'm just using all the called for. And I didn't get very... Oh, I just showed you my back. For crying out loud. Okay. Here. Let's try this. I'm serious. I am so physically and mentally drained this week. How about that? Does that look better? Yeah, that should look better. So that's my start. Little tiny start. I started in the center. I am going to count to the bottom just to make sure I have enough. Oh, there's my mark. Yeah. So this is the right side up. But I'm going to get 10 hours on that, so I should get another good chunk done. I did start her in the center somewhere like right around here. So I'm excited to have that. So this is a stitch along with Gary of Sunshine Stitchers, and my friend Dee and my friend Matthew. We're all working on that together, and hopefully if there's others of you out there, we are using hashtag Royal Holiday Sal and hashtag Royal Holiday Dee Birthday Sal, I think is Dee's. So put it right back in where we got it from. So that's Royal Holiday. Okay, so next up, empty. Oh, this one. Okay. This is one I started last December, so there's two in here. Started these last... My floss fell out. This is not a Garen bag. This is just a little Amazon bag. I did a bunch of small starts back in December, so I would have something for Year of WIPs. So, first up is this was a freebie by Lindy Stitches. It's called No Notion. It's a quote by Jane Austen. I have no notion of loving people by halves. This is probably more appropriate now than ever before. I am stitching this, oh, there's a tag, 16 count Ariel, Ada by Pictures Plus in Ariel. So it's just a scrap I had. That's as far as I've gotten. So this is going to be a quick finish when I finish it. There's my Garen needle minder on this one. I had ordered, when I was trying to pick a fabric for Harbor Haven, I ordered several just pieces. This is 8x12 pieces. They're $4 or $5 each just to test the colors. And I ended up going with 0 of them. But they're certainly big enough. I mean, you can see this whole piece will fit on this and still have room left over. So that's what it will look like. And I just need to get on it. Again, this is something I have kind of slated for after July. The next 24 hours of cross stitch is in November. And so what I did, I've already planned out, it might change, but I want to do an 8-hour rotation of a bunch of these mini small projects. So this would get 2 hours because I think I have 4 of them. So this would get 2 hours just to make some progress on it because I haven't touched it since December. Then also in this, it's on the back here. in this bag is You Bring Peace to My Heart by Hands On Design. I think that's just so sweet. And I'm changing up the colors. That's all I've gotten. And this is a 14 count Ada Fiddler's Oatmeal. So it's quite a big piece. It's not going to take up this whole piece. So I can't remember what I got this piece for, but so I need to finish this, and then I'll have plenty left over for another project. So if you haven't seen those in a while, since December, I haven't either. All right. Next up, look at this cute kitty bag. This is another Mania start. This is Narnia by my dear, dear friend Jan of Jan Hicks Creates. And this is what it will look like. Well, except I'm changing the colors. So it won't quite look like that, but. And I am using Victorian Motto sampler threads in like a charcoal and a cream. And I'm doing this on 36 count. And I can't remember what it is. It's a linen. It's very rustic linen. But I just love that piece. This is on my WIP Go board for this year. So it will be coming out. It will be getting 20 hours. Because remember, everything's on my board twice. So it'll be getting 20 hours yet this year, which will be great. That'll be some good progress. And I'm excited. Look at it. It's just gorgeous. I really, really love this piece. So I'm excited to give that some attention. All right. I keep accidentally, so I have my laptop on a stand, computer stand, because that's how I work now that we're working from home. And it's kind of wobbly, so I apologize if it's making you sick. That one hasn't been started yet. Okay, this one. So this is Spring Quaker. So this is a Spring Quaker bag by Garen. They made it special to go along with Rosewood Manor Spring Quakers. And I have just the tiniest start on this. This will also get some attention starting next year. And this is also on the, it's got really wrinkly. Oh my. We'll have to give it an iron. So, I don't even have the first motif done. This is on a linen, I think 28 count. It's the called for. It's a fun stitch, especially now that I've learned how to do the pin stitch. I think this will go much easier because there are quite a bit of color changes in it. And then this one is also done with the Valdani threads. Okay, so this is, we're now through the first box, so I'm going to pause you and I'll be right back while I switch boxes. And I'm back. All right, so next up, you have seen this one a lot. This is where the bag I keep Harbor Haven in. So let's dive in here, and I'm going to see if I can find you a picture of what it will look like when it's all done. This is a terrible printout, but it will give you the idea of what it will look like with all 12 scenes completed. And I do know the fabric on this one because I've said it so many times. I am stitching this on a 32 count Belfast linen in vintage smoky white. I did not iron these either. I can't see either what you're seeing, but so this is how far. So we have 8 total scenes done. So hopefully you got to see all that. 8 scenes are done. I will be doing number 9 in July. So let's stand back and take a look. And I'm doing this 2/2. So from a distance, this is what it looks like. I hope the remaining 4 fit. It should. Let's not think about that. So there we go. That's what it looks like from a distance. It is really coming together. This was kind of the first project. So this project is very sentimental to me, actually. It's the first of what was to be many projects that I was enabled by Jan Hicks, because she was working on it right when I kind of first found her Flosstube and kind of came back to stitching. And I saw it and I just fell in love, and I had to have it. Little did I know that she would become a good friend of mine and enable me a whole lot more. This is the bag I keep the Santa's Village items in, but I already showed you that, so I don't. Here's the chart. Here's what number 2 will look like. So I said I had just started the top candy cane border. I have that done in 1 level of snow. That's what it will look like. So that's what I keep in this bag. Okay. Next up, these are 2 more smalls that I started in December, trying to get some WIPs for Year of WIPs, and have not gotten very far. So first up is called White Pumpkin. It's a free design. I think it's still on her website by the Bay Needle Arts. And this is what it will look like. Again, a terrible printout because my copier. And under that DMC, these are the colors I'm using. There's another pumpkin under there. And this is an Ada, probably 14 count Ada with sparkles. It's probably a Charles Craft gold something or other. So I just have the start of the border there. But I really like the colors. I think the colors will look great on this. And my current house, golds really go well in this house. So hopefully they'll go well in the next place as well. And then I'm also working on Come With a Thankful Heart by Lizzie Kate. This was a gift to me. I'm so sorry, I can't remember who sent this to me. Come With Thankful Hearts. I really, really love that. So I'm going to stitch this, and I have this started as well. Just the tiniest start in the center on that pumpkin. So not much to show. This is maybe an 18 count something that I'm stitching. Oh, I probably have it right here. 28 count even weave. Lugana by Charles Craft. Carolina linen. That's what I'm stitching at. So those are both kept in this fall bag by Garen. And these are the other 2 pieces that will get 2 hours each in the November 24 hours of cross stitch. Okay, next up in this llama bag is my nemesis right now. This is Farewell to Anger. It's one of the Hades. And I know I just showed this last week, but here it is. Here's where I'm at. And if you missed last week's video, I've messed up somewhere in here pretty immensely. And I have to decide, am I going to frog to find the mistake? Am I just going to keep going and fudge it? Now you look at the top and it is somewhat, I mean, I think if any stitching you're going to do to easy to fudge, I think it's going to be, you know, this kind of fuzzy, kind of impressionist type look. So I don't know. I have to figure that out before I work on this. I've been giving this a 4-hour rotation each month. I gave it a lot more in January when we started this. This was our new start with Jan. I'm not going to scrap it. I do want to continue working on it. I just need to figure out, am I going to keep going and try to fudge, whatever the mistake is, I'm going to try to find it. I'm doing 25 count Lugana 1/1. And I've never really done 1/1 on that small before, so that might be part of the issue. But look at this bag. You haven't seen this one very much. So this holds Scenic Farm, which this was my unicorn chart. So for a long time, they re-released it. And by Dimensions, it's a kit. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This was a kind of spur of the moment start because it's the kit, so you kind of have everything you need. For my birthday this year, because Jan made me do it. Jan had 2 or 3 options, and she asked on her Facebook page, which one should I start? And I just offhandedly said, well, I have the Scenic Farm one too, ready to go, because it's a kit. And she's like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it for your birthday. I did switch out the fabric. This is a 25 count Lugana, the same thing I'm doing Farewell to Anger on. Just a little tiny star. I only worked on it on my birthday. The sky is half stitch with 2 threads, I think. And then the start, this is the start of the trees, which is a half stitch, 1 thread. So I don't have very far. This will be on my WIPCO board in next year. I think it will have two rotations next year. And maybe I'll work on it on my birthday again. So we'll see. But I do love that piece. It's just, you know, the pieces when you don't necessarily intend to start them and then you start them and you're like, oh, I want to keep working on it. All right, next up in another kitty Garen bag, like the kitties in the candy store, is Hoity Toity by Long Dog Samplers. Now, I started this last October, I think it was. So this is what it will look like. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Except I'm using Jan's color conversion, which you can find on her Mad for Yarns website. I am stitching this on something. I don't know. I can't remember, but I love it. So Jan has more pinks and whatnot instead of oranges. Look at all this. I need to search those sides. But look, so that's how far I've gotten. I just love, 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 love these colors. The background is DMC 939, which is my favorite DMC color. So this will definitely be, this will be on my WIPCO board next year, but not this year, unfortunately, because I only had 13 spots. Okay, that's that box. So I will pause you and come back with the last box. Right. Last box. So I will pull this out. This is my one non-Garen tote bags. This is Evertote by Caroline. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bag. Just love that pattern. And stored in here is my Halloween at Hop Run Hollow. I need to switch this actually because I do have an empty Halloween bag from Garen. And I think I have another one on the way. So I do need to switch it because this is not a very Halloween-y bag. So this is what it will look like. Lots of stitching in these pieces. Of course, I'm starting up here. All right, and I am doing this on a 32 count Vanilla Latte by Be Stitch Me. This one will get, it's a huge piece. This one will get 2 rotations this year, so it'll get another 20 hours. My goal on this one is to have half of it done by next Halloween, so a little over a year. If I can get half the squares done, I'll be happy. That's a tall order. That's where I'm at on the first one. Love it when the borders line up. So just kind of starting down here with the graveyard and all of that. So that's where I'm at on this one. That was Simon saying hello. You know, they've been hiding a lot yesterday, and this morning I had a company come in and repair some carpet on the steps that my lovely, lovely kittens have ripped up. I didn't even know you could do that, but you can. they can repair if you have leftover carpet remnants to work from, which I did, so I'm very happy. This gorgeous bag by Garen. This stores autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. And the same thing, 32 count vanilla latte by Bestitch Me. This is what it will look like. And I want to be halfway done by next Halloween. Again, tall orders. I don't know. That might be too, because, you know, I'm working on spring and I'm trying to do one a month of that. I'm still finishing up Harbor Haven and all that. So this will also, this is on this year's WIP Go board twice, so it will get another 20 hours. But this is as far as I've gone. I don't even have the top border done yet. But I love it. I love that bird or I don't know if it's supposed to be a crow or what. And that corn on the cob. And then I'm starting that pumpkin. So that's as far as I've gotten. So when I say half done, I'm not including the border. So I need to finish the border and then do 6 more squares on this. I don't think that's going to be done unless I really, really, really up my stitchy game. Because here, you can see a close-up of some of that. Those are mostly for full coverage. With those houses and whatnot, yeah, there's a lot of stitching in those. So, we'll see, though. I clearly really love the Hawk Run Hollows. So, this one, oh, you have probably not seen this one in ages. And if you're new, you probably have not seen this one. This is not in my regular rotation pile. But I do like it. And I know why it's not in my regular. This is a stitch along from 2018 by Tiny Modernist called The Haunted Mansion. So this is a mystery cell. So you got a piece each, I can't remember now, every couple weeks maybe. And you were supposed to stitch it. I'll show you where I'm at. And I have not touched this in well over probably almost 2 years. This is on Haunted. It's an Ada. By Picture This Plus, I'm not sure what count. So you would see that and you would say, hey, that's pretty good progress. And it's fine. It is. Now, the moon is off, so I need to frog the moon, which I haven't done, and I think that's part of why I'm not picking this up. And, I don't know, can you see it? So in this tree here, you see that gray? It shows up pretty well on screen, but it's nearly, well, maybe it's okay. I keep thinking I need to frog it and change colors, but I guess you can see it in person too. I think it's the moon. Look at this little happy ghost up here. He's so cute. Okay. I do like it. I do want to work on it. I like it. I'm going to work on it. I don't know when, but I will work on it. So that's Haunted Mansion. We haven't seen that one in a while. All right. My next bag is this other cute kitty Garen bag. Do I have anything else other than cute kitty bags by Garen? Not likely. This is another new start. This was just started earlier this month. This is Bayou Cat by Owl Forest Embroidery. So this is what it will look like. This is another start with Jan Hicks. We were going to start this together in person at StitchCon. Of course, StitchCon was canceled, so we did, you probably saw the Stitch With Us that we did, where we chatted. I was so proud. I thought I had this first motif done, and then I realized that over here, I forgot it mirrors. I forgot a few stitches, but so this is where I'm at. This is on the call. It came as a kit, so I'm just using the floss and the fabric that came with the kit. So this is a really, really fun stitch. This will probably get a kind of regular monthly rotation starting next year. So how I did Cross Stitch Nation, where I gave it 4 or 5 hours each month until it was done or close to done, and then I could kind of add more time. So that's my plan for this one. So this will not be on the WIP Go board because I plan to put it in a regular rotation, monthly rotation starting next year. Okay, so I love this bag. Look at this pattern. Just love it. So this you will be seeing in July. This is Long Dog Sampler's Death by Cross Stitch. This was kind of the piece that drew me into Long Dogs, that I thought someday I want to stitch that, and now I am. So I do know, so this piece is stitched on the same fabric as Hoity Toity, which is, I have a sticker here, 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. And this is how far I've gotten. So I have a lot of the border done and not much in here. I think I want to take this out. I think I talked about that last time. I want to frog that because I don't like the variegation in it. And I found so I'm basically trying to use the same colors in Jan Hicks Hoity Toity, just because I see them as kind of partner pieces so that they would maybe hang together and look good together. That's kind of what I'm thinking in my mind. So this is all $9.39. And I just don't like how much variegation, how it gets really, really dark right there and it's lighter over here. Because it's almost a brown in that really dark spot. And I want it to be more pink. So I'm going to frog that out, and I found a DMC, so it won't have the variegation. But I found a DMC that looks very nice next to it. So in July, I will probably frog that and start stitching that for my 10 hours. So I'm excited to get some more progress on Death by Cross Stitch, and to kind of get into, still right up here, get into some of, oh, I guess it's right here, that border. So this will be a fun one. I am a little nervous about picking colors and all that because you can do it all, it's called for it all in monotone, but you can do whatever you want. And I've seen online the pictures that people have of the colors is just really, really, really amazing. Okay, this is the last one, you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. This is, look at this cute Easter bag from Garen. So this houses Easter Parade by Blackbird Designs. I've started both of them, but I'm working in earnest on the bunny, and then I will be doing the basket as well. I need all mine are stuck together. This is a 28 count Lugana in ivory. It looks kind of peachy or pink. This is where I'm at. And last time you saw this, I mentioned that I have some ink spots here, which I still have not tried to take care of, but I do need to try to take care of those. This is from my printer, my inkjet printer. I had a pattern and I folded it so that the ink was touching it. Lesson learned. So hopefully that will come out. But I'm probably about 3/4 done with this. So the plan for this one is that it will come out probably starting in January and get a monthly rotation amount until it's done. I do want this one done by Easter next year, 2021. And the same with this one, but this one is nowhere close to being done. So I just have the tiniest start in the center. So I would like them both done. Now, Easter's a bit earlier next year. It's in early April, I believe. Yes, I did already look it up to know how much time I would have to work on these. So I think I'm going to pull them out in January, finish up this one, and get to work on this one. So that's the plan for those, and then those will be done, and I can display them in, hopefully, my new home. Won't that be nice? It feels really good to just tell you guys that now, because it's just been so crazy, and I haven't been able to reply to comments and whatnot, and you just don't want to put your horse before the cart with things. So anyway, so that's my WIPs. So it's not that bad, you guys. I haven't counted them. I can go through and count them later, but I have not counted them. But maybe if one of you counted them while we're going along, you can let me know how many WIPs I have. So I really do love them all. Farewell to Anger is giving me some anxieties right now, but we'll work through it like any good relationship, good open communication. So next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my Christmas in July draw, and And then I will find the 3 ornaments that I'll be working on July. I will pause the video, go pull those, and come back and show those to you. Okay, so here we have Tiny Decisions, and we'll see which the first one. Holly Angel. Okay, a lot of these are from magazines, from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament magazine. Left Behind. I know that sounds really sad, but it's a cute one. I'll show it to you. And Noel. Okay, let me go pull those 3, and I will be right back to show them to you. I am back with the 3 ornaments. So the first one I'm going to show you is Holly Angel, which is from the 2018 issue of the Christmas Ornaments issue of Just Cross Stitch. And I did these post-its. I have to cover up the chart. The Holly Angel, that's what she looks like. I think she's so pretty. She does have call for some beads and Krynic and fuzzy stuff. So I do have the materials. I think I have all the materials. And I am going to be stitching her on this 14 count light blue Aida. I did buy it just for this. I guess, I don't know which way she's going to go. It is 70 by 70. So either way, and I should have plenty left over for another ornament another time. But so she's going to go on here. This is one that I would like to finish. So if you were with me last year, you know I did really mini, tiny out of perforated paper. I did almost 30 ornaments. I think I did 29 of them for my coworkers and whatnot. I'm not doing that this year. It's way too much. But there are 3 or 4 that I would like to finish in time for Christmas this year for some very close friends of mine and their daughters. So this is one of them. This I would like to finish this year in time for Christmas to send to them. So that will be a goal. Next up is, let me move my sticky note. I had to have all these, and that's designed by Lisa Leanne Designs. Let me show it again. Lisa Leanne Designs. So I think she'll be really, really cute. So next up, this is one that I just want to stitch for myself because I like it. I think it'd be a really cute something to hang on your door or your doorknob. This is by JBW Designs. It's Noel. I really like how they finished it. And I do have some of those wreaths here. So I really like that. I'm going to stitch this on a 16 count Aida in antique white. I'm using Aida for a lot of these because that's partly what's called for on a lot of them, but also it's, it's a more cost-effective way than doing the linen, and I have no problem. I know some people really don't like Aida. I have no problem stitching on Aida. And, if you're doing so many of them, it can be a really great way, and especially because I don't have a lot of stash, especially with fabric. So it could be a really great way to kind of save some money on these ornaments when you're doing so many. So that's Noel. And then next up is Left Behind. It sounds very sad. It's by Misty Hill Studio, Holly DeVivo. And it's this little reindeer. I will probably make his nose red so that he's Rudolph. But do you see his wreath around his neck and everything? I think that's really cute. And so get ready for the fabric I'm going to stitch this on. You ready? It's a bit out there. Ready? This was, I won a sampler pack of fabrics from Bestitch Me a while ago. And this is in one of them. It's the perfect size. And I think on a little pink background, I think it look really cute. It'll be a little different. This is one I will not necessarily need to try to get finished for this year. Okay, so just the Holly Angel. So that's good. That was called kind of early. So those will be my 3 Christmas ornaments. I plan to work on them an hour or 2 each evening. So we'll see just kind of how I feel. So an hour or two to get them started. Maybe a little bit more on the ones that I'm trying to finish in time for this Christmas. Yeah, so I'm excited to get started on that. So starting July 1, which I think is Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, give them an hour or two each, and then work on, Harbor Haven. Well, I guess this goes into plans. So going into plans. So for July overall, I kept thinking, I have no new starts. Well, we're starting 11 ornaments. We're starting Kringles. And we're starting Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. So there are new starts in July. I plan to do 3-hour rotation on Balmy Spring. I didn't show you Balmy Spring Day. Wonder where that one is. Simon doesn't know either. Okay. So I have to find Balmy Spring Day. That's another WIP. So add that if you're counting for me. Balmy Spring Day. I don't know where it is. I am doing a 3-hour rotation on Balmy Spring Day and a 3-hour rotation on Farewell to Anger. So that should be one evening of work each. The 2 WIP Go pieces, so Death by Cross Stitch will get 10 hours and Royal Holiday will get 10 hours. Harbor Haven number 9 will be started and finished. I wrote down Spring at Hawk Run Hollow number 2. I'm not sure about that, but that's a kind of a lower goal. I am going to continue working on it as much as I can. Temperature Tree, still work on that. And like I said, there's a 24 hours of cross stitch at the end of the month. So I think it's July. I don't have my calendar here, which I usually look at anymore. It's July 24th, 25th, 26th, I believe. So my plan for that is to do 4 hours on Kringle, a 4-hour rotation on Kringle, and then for the remaining 20 hours, do my 2 WIP Go pieces. Okay, so that will take care of that 24 hours of cross stitch. However, because this coming weekend is a long weekend, originally my house was going to go on the market on July 3rd. And so I'm going to be at the hotel with the kiddies. And so I thought, hey, that's a great weekend to do a unsanctioned 24 hours of cross stitch. We did this over Memorial Day weekend as well. We are still planning to do an unsanctioned 24 hours of cross stitch over 4th of July weekend. So starting that Friday, is that the 3rd? 2, 3. Yes, the 3rd. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Try to get as many hours in as you can. Now, for me, my plans have changed. So we shifted that my house is actually not going on the market. We moved it back a week. So July 9th it will go on the market instead, which means that this weekend, which I'm glad, I'm so happy because there's no way I could be ready after this week. That would mean that today and tomorrow would be all cleaning and prep for the photographer. So a photographer will come take pictures of the house for the listing on July 5th, which is a Sunday. So I imagine a lot of that weekend for me will be spent finalizing cleaning and staging. So I don't know how much of 24 hours of cross stitch I'm going to get in that weekend, but that's okay. Let's still do it because I know a lot of people will have an extra day off that weekend. So unsanctioned, not a part of the official 24 hours of cross stitch. Anybody can join. I will do as much as I can, and I hope you will join us to do as much as you can as well. The following weekend, though, I will be staying at a hotel, and I will have a lot of time on my hands, so I'm hoping to get some good progress on a lot of these projects that I keep talking about. Lofty goals for July. So my plans, though, for this coming week, starting this evening, will be continuing that work on Spring at Hawk Run Hollow. I want to get as much done on block number 1 as I can before we hit July. So I will be doing as much as I can. And I'm going to start the 3 ornaments and work on the temperature tree on Sunday. So that's my plan. Thank you so much. If you have sat here with through this whole video, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the WIP Parade. It was really fun for me to see some of the pieces that I maybe haven't pulled out in a while and reminded why I started them. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about kind of the life changes that are happening and excited for the future. and everything that it holds. So I hope you all have a great weekend and have a great, for those of you who are Canadian, I'm actually part Canadian. I don't know if you've ever told you that, but I am part Canadian. I was born there. So Canada Day is July 1st, so happy Canada Day. And then, of course, 4th of July is the U.S. Independence Day as well. So happy 4th, happy Canada Day, and be well and take care. Bye-bye.